Hi everyone. We're going to start this tech meeting today. It's good to see you again. So welcome everyone. So my name is Flo. I'm the corporate innovation manager for the U.S. branch of True Space region. So I will be your host today for our tech meeting dedicated to the metaverse. Um, so this session will be recorded. So please let me know if anyone would be against it. And so we can start here. So first, I wanted to show you the agenda for today. So after a short introduction of what we do, I'll provide some key figures about the metaverse industry. Then we will move to the fireside chat with our experts today, Hanin Mopas and Alfred Bahakov. And then we will have a selection of innovative companies presenting their solutions or products. So we will answer questions during the fireside chat or at the end. So if you have any to our experts, feel free to use the question button of Livestorm to ask your question. Um, Great. So let's jump into it. So a short presentation of TrueSpace region and what we do. For some of you who don't know us, TrueSpace region is a catalyst for business and innovation. So we partner with Fortune 500 corporations in order to support international companies willing to expand and set up business in the Paris region. So thanks to our presence and vibrant tech ecosystem, located in San Francisco, New York, Beijing, Shanghai, and of course Paris, we are in touch with over 4,000 international companies every year. So this unique relationship between large corporations on one hand and with innovative, fast-growing companies on the other hand, led us to create the Global Open Innovation Network about 5 years ago. So through this global program, we organize about 20 events a year to foster business and technology partnerships between large corporations and startups. So since the pandemic moved our event online, it allowed us to connect and get in touch with more people, more companies. So it has been a pretty interesting experience. In terms of topics, technologies, we cover a narrow of them. So as you can see here, it could be AI, big data, AR, VR, health, smart cities, and you name it. So today we are going to talk about a new topic for us at True Space region as a full event, the metaverse. So for the key figures, I wanted to show you a brief overview of the metaverse industry. It is composed of different actors from various industries. You know the names, of course. For the hardware side, for example, it's Meta slash Oculus, Microsoft, Apple. We'll talk about this with our experts actually. But we can also have a lot of different actors in a lot of different industries. Could be like the gaming industry with Epic Gaming, Electronic Arts, and all those companies. So yeah, we'll see that during the startup presentations as well. So here are the key figures I wanted to share today. I wanted to stop on three main figures really quickly to set up the base of our discussion with the panel. So of course you can find a lot of different numbers out there regarding the metaverse, just because the projection is different based on what you're counting. But we're going to stop on those three numbers that we have here. In the first one, in 2022, the global metaverse market size was valued around $61.8 billion. And by 2027, that same number is projected to be around $426 billion. Like I said, we can find a lot of different numbers out here, but what's important here is the evolution that we can see. And it represents a compound annual growth rate of about 47%, which is huge because it's a new subject and it's a new topic. Everyone's talking about it, and they want to pretty much jump into this technology. So Very, very big evolution to be projected. The trends in the industry, as you can see here, we'll talk about this with the experts again, but the metaverse, of course, for the private sector, the gaming industry, education, and the e-commerce. Great. So to finish this brief overview of the metaverse industry, just wanted to share this non-exhaustive market map with you. So we designed it based on different players we have identified on the market. It's missing a few actors, of course, but it gives us a good understanding of what's happening these days in the industry. So I don't want to get into too much details, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to share it with you or tell you how I built it. Great. So before we go for the panel of experts, I wanted to present to you the person in charge of deep tech, including the metaverse at Choose Paris region, Thomas Fauvel, who wanted to give you some information about the industry in the Paris region. So Thomas, if you can join me on stage. Yeah, he's coming. Great. So Thomas is going to join in a second, and he's going to talk about the different initiatives in the Paris region regarding the metaverse. I don't know if Thomas is here. Yes. Hello, Thomas.
I managed to connect. Thank you, Florian,
Yeah, no
and
problem.
hi everyone. Yes, I'm Thomas. I'm leading the deep tech practice at Choose Paris region. So, as Florian said, I'm part of a team that promotes this vibrant ecosystem in which to locate. So, with my colleagues, we also provide free of charge services to international companies and talents willing to join our region to thrive. So the Paris region, in terms of metaverse, you know that it offers a vibrant cultural scene and a thriving tech ecosystem. It enables the region to stand at the forefront of metaverse revolution with its rich history in art, fashion, and technology. The region is uniquely positioned to harness the potential of the metaverse and become the European global hub for innovation in the field. Let me explain how. You know that the metaverse is based, as Florian said, on a stack of many different technologies. But to be more precise, it's also based on blockchain, NFT, 3D contents, cybersecurity, and 5G are at the core. So I just want to share with you today that you will find the best condition to develop your metaverse business based on all of these layers in the Paris region. First of all, France, regulatory environment is a major attraction for crypto companies. So you'll find the world leading players offering top services such as Binance, Crypto.com, Cycle, and soon Coinbase. The NFT factory based in Paris center gathers a large community and is raising awareness on this hot topic for more than 1 year now. The creators of 3D contents are ranked among the best in the world thanks to the top school such as Les Gobelins. Moreover, the French market of professional AR, VR is growing rapidly. Just for example, on the one hand, AR is boosted by the industrial use from large companies such as Airbus, Thales, Safran, Stellantis in automotive. On the other hand, in addition to the dynamic French gaming market, VR finds other profitable use cases in real estate due to investment in Paris region for the Olympics in 2024 and beyond. However, the metaverse is not without its challenges. questions about privacy, security, inclusivity, and digital ownership need to be addressed as this concept continues to evolve. So be sure that in France, you will find the best condition to manage this expectation, because this is a country that nearly created a GDPR. So to finish, I invite you to save the date and join us at Viva Technology, the so-called Viva Tech, on June 14th to June 17th. It is the next big occasion to meet industry players and find out more about business opportunities there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Yes, definitely Viva Tech is definitely the place to be in June. Thank you so much, Thomas. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great. So without further ado, we're going to invite our two experts today for the Fireside chat. So Haneen, Offer, if you can join me on stage. We are just going to invite them. They're going to be here in a second. Hello, Haneen. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes, I can hear you perfectly, so that's great. Great. Yeah, we're just going to wait for Offer. He's gonna come in a second.
There we are.
Hi. Hello, Offer.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much. Great. So thank you again for accepting my my invitation and for being with us. We're very excited to have you to discuss the different topics today. It's a very interesting topic. So maybe first of all, and to give some context to the audience, maybe you could both present yourself, maybe. So tell us a little bit about you, the organization you're representing, maybe a current project. So Haneen, you wanna go first?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Hanan Mupa, I'm a co-founder, and the CEO of Next Metaverse. Next is an all-in-one B2B and B2C metaverse platform, helping companies to enter and to take advantage of this metaverse area. It's really very important for us always to say that the metaverse is an opportunity, and we want that any company take advantage of these opportunities. This is why we thought about all the challenges, as Thomas mentioned it, in our platform. We wanted to help them to build their ecosystem and also to onboard to all those new customer experiences in the metaverse. Typically, the platform make you able to build your 3D environment, to make you able to connect, matchmake, network, exhibit, showcase the products, learn, means many activities and new interaction and new customer experiences around the metaverse. We are a startup, but we developed also our AI algorithm to make sure to have everything in terms of intelligence inside this metaverse to deliver all the benefits from the digital experiences.
Thank you so much, Haneen. Yes, Offer for the company Villa.
Okay, hi. You can hear me well? Just testing?
Yes,
Okay, fantastic. Sorry, new to this platform, Livestone. So thank you so much for having me. My name is Ofer. I am founder and CEO at Villa. Villa is a popular metaverse creation and collaboration platform over Quest. We're also expanding to other platforms, but we're VR first. It's by metaverse creation, what it means is you go in and you can create your worlds, you can publish them, and you can conduct meetings in them. We're about currently 90% consumer, about 10% enterprise. The enterprise is growing. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that in this panel. So there's a lot to talk about there for the enterprise in the metaverse. It's an up-and-coming arena, very exciting. Lots of potential, of course, with generative AI, and we're already applying it in various ways. I can talk about that and what I believe to be the trend. So I look forward to discussing all this in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Great. So yeah, maybe to give some context, I'm not sure everyone in the audience know what we're talking about. I think like like for like a topic like this, it's important to go back from the beginning. So my first question is a real general question, and I think it's important to define what we're going to talk about. So maybe if you could both give us your definition of the metaverse. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same, but what is going to be the definition? Haneen, do you want to go? You wanna go first for that?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, I mean, this is really the best question that you can start with it, because you have many definitions and many. My definition, or at least the definition that I would like to promote, is saying that the metaverse is an evolution of our current Web 2. Okay, it's only an evolution. We had Web 1. We have Web 2, and now we will have Web 3, a decentralized Web 3. And in the middle, we have to progress. We have to, in terms of technology, our website means introduce 3D, introduce interactivity, introduce VR. For me, is only an evolution of our current website to more interactive and modern website. And the internet, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So just our version of how we see, can you refine the question maybe in light of the answer? Where would you like me to take this to?
Yeah. Yeah,
so in general, how I see the metaverse, right, is a question of like, where do you want this more on the enterprise, of course, given the crowd here. So is that the question? So our version of the metaverse is less right now web. I mean, in the end, there's lots of definitions for the metaverse, right? And for us, it's immersive experiences, what sets it apart, very much in line with how Meta was trying to project this to the world, which is immersive experiences where they belong in 3D. We're very big on that. And there are other things we could do to bridge the 2D world that we've all gotten accustomed to. Because that's where 99% of our digital lives are today. But there's our focus as a company is on the immersive portion of this, right? Because that's where we can add value, and also bridging the folks that are in 2D most of the day into VR. There's ways of doing it. For example, our integration with Zoom recently, where you can actually have a Zoom chat just like we're having this kind of chat, but actually see people in VR and vice versa is really interesting. So we can talk about those kinds of things as well.
Yeah, definitely. So Haneen, you said that the metaverse is kind of like after the Web 1, Web 2. So can we say that this is like the new internet, or will it like become the new internet? How is that going to like position itself?
Yeah, exactly. This is the next generation of internet. I mean, this is how we see it, is the new internet, and it's a real evolution. Thomas speak about 5G, means now we have the capability to have more network, and the capability to do more 3D, the capability to have better devices, and this allow us to go beyond the Web 2 and start to experience other like Ofer mentioned, the VR, but also to experience 3D, to experience interactivity, different interactivity. Means this is only an evolution of what we are doing today, of the Web 2, and it's exciting, to participate to this evolution of internet.
Yeah, definitely. And so offers, do you think that people will pretty much like, are we gonna get rid of like computers? Everyone's gonna have like a headset, do you think?
Yeah. So first of all, these are computers sitting on our head, just like we have iPhones and smartphones, which are computers sitting in our pockets. So yeah, I do think that as we advance, it makes much more sense. It doesn't take much to consider that if we can solve the discomfort and if we can solve the projection of this, then people will find more value than discomfort. Today, there's a little bit still, of course, discomfort for certain people, especially for others less so. Some people don't like it for multiple reasons. It can be a little claustrophobic. You've got goggles sitting on your eyes. Some people don't like the weight. Some people don't like the wrinkles it might cause. But if you put all those away, in the end, we're giving people value. And when we're 3D beings, we're not 2D beings. We've adapted to it. We take it for granted, but we're looking at screens and we're used to it just like we are right now. But after spending tens of thousands of hours in VR, I can attest that it's a lot more natural to be in, to me at least, right? To be in that environment. But there are steps that we're adapting to. And so much like Hameen said, this is a little bit of a long-term, everybody knows this is a long-term process. It's not a sudden boom, kind of like GPT has done recently, but it's also where there's a lot of potential to really, take the internet and make it shine. It's the same internet that we're all using. It's just that it's applied to what we as 3D beings are used to. So that's how I'm seeing that evolution. And it's really, really exciting. And right now in 2023, it's a lot more about bridging the 2D world, which we're all used to, into the 3D world. So some teams might be in 3D already, for example, but those other ones that either are nauseous, don't like it, traveling, flying, and can't put a VR headset on, for those people, they can just jump in through video and join, right? And then the benefit here is kind of like hybrid, sort of like we spoke 2 years ago or 3 years ago because of Corona, hybrid, physical and video. This time it's going to be hybrid, immersive tech plus video, and it's basically the same but with superpowers. That's how we view it. And what I'd love to be able to take this conversation to, because there's a lot of folks represented here by big corporations. We discussed earlier, and so I would love to sort of shine some deep dive into actual use cases. This is, to me, this would be the most important thing. If I was an executive at a corporation, how can I take the metaverse and adopt it and bring it into my workforce, and how can that increase productivity that we all cherish and want, and reduce costs? Of course, there's a huge element here. Massive reductions in costs. When we think about it, 70% of human resources, 70% of expenses tend to be human resources related. And these physical twins, where we have large corporations pack the humans in there, are necessary still, but they're not fully necessary like they were before. So what replaces it is these kinds of technologies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Very interesting. And we definitely have to talk about those use cases for corporates, because I think that's the most important. But first, I was trying
if you allow me just to add something, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with Ofer about VR, the importance of VR, and that it will take time also to miniaturize everything and to make it more comfortable. But in the meantime, I don't think that the metaverse is only about VR. It's about emotion also. It's about presence. I mean, it's, if I go to visit any website currently, I'm alone to visit this website. Okay, I'm the only one. I click, I see a lot of things, but I'm alone. Nobody is with me. In the metaverse, we can visit together the website. We can experience together the products. We can, meet each other. I have many people saying, okay, I'm impressed by the number of avatars. I'm impressed that the guys came to me. Means the metaverse also creates emotion, whatever with VR or without VR, because it creates this emotion through the presence. I'm not alone on the web. I am with somebody else. I am with people. And this is the video cannot create it, because I have just to show you. You see, this is my glass. When in the metaverse, I can come with you and look together on the glass, turn it, and be together and discuss together. This is a very important difference that it will, help us to progress, even if VR is still in progress. This is one of the advantages that we need to highlight. The other, I think, advantage for the corporate is what offer, develop it very well, is giving this hybrid opportunity. Means that people can, physical or digital, can really execute many tasks with digital twins, with the presence of people, and also typically having a showroom with many products that you can just send it to your customer and be with your customer explaining every details. This is something, if you do it on the web, you need 130 web page to explain everything to your customer. You see, and you will never be, you cannot bring your customer alone. A lot of things you cannot do it in the web, and you can do it with the metaverse. In addition, of course, of the VR that we need to progress, because it will be a change gamer maybe in 5-10 years.
Okay, so customers experience a big change, of course. Yeah, I was mentioning e-commerce, and that's definitely something that companies can imagine for this kind of things. So just one question before we dive into the use cases for corporates. Like with the insights I gave about the metaverse industry, can you tell us, like, why is the projection being so high regarding this new technology? Why is it like such a boom? Because we don't really see, like, we do a lot of events around different topics, and we don't see that much of an evolution, of course, because it's not new. But why is it so big, Alfred, for example?
Yeah, so first of all, I don't know necessarily that I'm buying that it's exactly 68 or whatever that number was,
Right,
billion
right.
dollars. I think that if you look at Meta, you're looking at, which is 90% of the VR market, we're looking at a huge loss. And in terms of sales, I think we're talking about a few billion, right? So I'm not sure where they're getting those numbers. That said, I also don't think, for example, that McKinsey projected it was going to be a $5 trillion market within, I don't know, a few years, within 5 years. I don't remember exactly the numbers, but again, I thought it was a little bit, it's tough. I'll tell you why it's tough to, in my view, to really categorize it, because AR is also apps today on your iPhone, right? It doesn't have to be immersive technology per se to call it AR to make it part of it. So in terms of projections, these are all projections, right? So in terms of projections, this is really important to note. At 2023, at this point in time, like I said, 90% of the market is Meta. Meta has done MetaQuest. Meta has done an incredible job, actually, to pump to the masses VR. If you think about these 20 million of these units, right? These Quest 2s. These guys here are only $300 roughly, right? Depending on the country and the tax and everything, but $300 to $400. It's cheap. And what's beautiful about it is that, in my view, again, this is all my opinion, but in my view, enterprises are even more sensitive to pricing than consumers. Why? We've seen it with HoloLens, $3,500. It didn't really go well. I don't know what's going on with it, but sort of paused. We've seen it with Magically, $2,500. Apple is about to launch something that people are predicting is going to be very expensive. It's not going to increase the market at once. That's why these things are going to take time. However, the Quest 3 is bound to come out at some point. Finally, we're all waiting for it because it's been like 3 years. Unlike the iPhone, where it gets pushed out every year, this one has taken a little bit too long. But hopefully, it's coming out by the end of this year or maybe early next year. And when that comes in, hopefully that gives a little jump, because the compute capabilities of these computers is constrained, right? These are compute constrained devices. Whereas what Apple's planning is going to be able to have a lot more compute, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. So the $60-something billion, I personally think that again, I think of the metaverse as immersive experiences. This is me personally. I exclude things that are not immersive. And so even though today you can do stuff in the web, there are websites that enable the metaverse to happen in multiplayer on the web. But much like Haneen mentioned, it's still causing us to sort of like do what we're doing right now, which we're looking at each other at the size of this the little square here on my screen, and I see Haneen at that size, and I see you, Florian, at that size, and that messes with my brain, even though I'm not aware of it. When I go into immersive experiences, I see you all in real life, experience and I have superpowers. That's the distinction. And to me, and in that sense, I believe I'm a little bit more conservative. I still think it's a massive market, but it's in the tens of like 10, 20 billion over the next couple of years for those kinds of technologies. There's going to be an explosion in AR, people are predicting. Apple's going to push a lot of that as well. Hopefully, you know, the mixed reality concept, where we can be in a physical environment and we can look through glasses. If we're at a corporation headquarters, I can see my or you know, at an office, I can see my coworkers, but I can also see the virtual ones in real life through it. So that's kind of the promise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think if it's just that numbers are numbers, depend on what you put on in those numbers. It means if you include the hardware, you include the software, you include all the services, you include the investment on 5G. I mean, depend on how you consider the numbers and what you put inside those numbers. I think that this move, you cannot dissociate the metaverse move from 5G move. Means all those investments will bring the metaverse, will push us to also to consider the laptop that we are using, the mobile phone that we are using. Means this is, of course, will increase those numbers because we are changing, the technology is changing, and we are changing also, and this is why those numbers are very high, because it includes all the hardware. It's not only about software or services provided by the metaverse, but including all the investment that you have inside those numbers. And this is also part of the game, that they included everything inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay, makes sense. And so I don't know how you picture the metaverse industry as a whole, but a lot of people think that, like, so far the metaverse is like a lot of different companies building their own kind of virtual world, but it's not something that is like, you know, open like the internet. So do you think that in a few years it's going to be like the internet, accessible to all, or do you think it will stay in silos, owned by either many different companies or like giants? Arthur? Or yeah, Annie?
Sure. Can you still hear me right away? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Fantastic. I had a big warning here. My audio get disconnected. That's funny. So is it going to be siloed? And to what extent is this open? So obviously, you know, different companies develop different platforms. How interactively, how you can jump from one to another. You can already do it on Quest. They have a party mode where you can take your friends and jump around from metaverse to metaverse. It does tune out the audio for each app, so you're only in there with other people. But you can have that experience. Since different apps are built over different game engines, it's kind of, I'm not sure yet how unsiloed this will be. But I am pretty sure that with the entry of Apple, for example, they're going to add a lot of UI sort of standardization, right? Standardization is what Apple is, my expectation, I think, from the industry, from the market, from Apple. They're going to come in and it's going to be turn right is only this button, kind of like, you know, on iOS apps, you know, you come to learn exactly which button does what, and it's across all the apps. So I think it's going to cause slightly less confusion on the consumer end, because they're going to come to expect certain behaviors from certain buttons, and it's going to be across all the apps. That's my expectation. And I think that's going to be good, because currently people get used to one platform, they hop to another platform, and the same buttons are used for exactly the opposite things in other platforms, essentially, causes some confusion. So those are kind of things that are going to help for people to jump into new worlds and have different experiences. And from that perspective, I think you are going to see more hopping around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Arthur, your mic is a little bit like making some noise when you start. Yeah, Haneen, kind of a same question.
Yeah, I think that it will start, of course, with any company will start to build their own experience in the metaverse and take advantage in the metaverse. And the standard takes always time to be in place, because you need experience to build this standard. You know, the standard, you need experience, as Ofer mentioned. You need experience. You need to see how it works. You need to see what are the challenges. business. We need to start and not to wait to have this standard completed. No technology started after the standard. Any technology started with the standard, or this is very important. I think all the companies will start their own experiences, but I do believe that we will have at the end this decentralized, let's say, world, or this decentralized connectivity where, companies, where I can jump from I don't know, meta corporate to another corporate to another corporate, means without having meta everywhere or having any platform everywhere. You see what I mean? Means it will be many metaverses, like we have many countries, like we have many houses, like we have many different things, and we will create this internet Web3. Decentralize it. I do believe that we will move to this decentralization, but it will not, of course, happen at once, immediately. It will take time to be deployed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Offer, yeah, you wanted to add something?
No, I just think, technically, maybe one of these big companies like Apple, for example, might figure out a way of standardizing, just from a hopping and from a game interaction perspective. Because right now, the silos happen because, as I mentioned earlier, there are different game engines that are running this. So if you're on Unity and you're jumping into Unreal, the systems are written in different languages altogether. It's not like you can just suddenly bridge those worlds together. But on a platform level, kind of like on a MetaQuest level, or like they're doing with parties, or maybe Apple will come up with a system of doing it. There is potential that one day we'll be able to literally travel and enjoy everything that each world offers seamlessly, right? That would be ideal. If you take a group and just hop around. That's it. I don't know that that's the end goal. Just like today, we're usually going to a certain destination where we're enjoying it for that session. It's big enough usually, right? So a lot of these worlds have months of discovery, like ours, for example. If you open an account with Villa, you're going to take a month at least to get around to how do you build stuff, how do you fly, how do you go to places, how do you do digital travel. You can go today, we have Jerusalem down to 5 millimeters, for example, 20 miles by 20 miles. If you want to take your team on a stand-up, quote unquote, and make it interactive, you can go today to Jerusalem, go to the Temple Mount. Nobody's going to block you from going there 24/7, and you can have a very interactive experience down to 5 millimeter resolution. And why would you want to, now if you're discovering Jerusalem, why would you want to hop around to another metaverse altogether? Like, you're going to go into there for a purpose, right? In this case, a stand-up, and you're going to enjoy it. It'll take an hour or two. You'll have your presentation there, and when you're done with Jerusalem, you can hop to a different city in this example, right? On a different day, you might go to a different app altogether and discover education there, for example. So yeah, I don't know that binging metaverses is the end goal, in the same session at all. I think that there's just so much to discover in each one that it's more about, hey, where do you want to spend the next hour in your corporate meeting, for example? Right?
Yeah, definitely. Offer, I think there's a little problem still with your mic.
Oh,
it
you
picks
can't
up.
hear me?
No, I can, but it picks up the noise when you move. So there's.
Gotcha. I'll be very, very careful. I see what's going on.
Thanks so much. Yeah, so wanted to jump in with the corporate use for the metaverse. I think it's important. You mentioned it already. So I wanted to talk about the application of this new technology. How is the metaverse can or will be used by corporates? How is that possible? And what can they do with it? How can they picture doing something at this point with the metaverse? Hanina?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I mentioned. It is evolution of your current website to a more sophisticated, means anything the website today can do, it will be also done by the metaverse, all those applications. But I would like to add that if I look, you have two main sector, two main activities. First is the business development, means marketing, sales, communication, having those spaces to create value, to create promotion, to create, to attract people, to show product, to demonstrate, to use those, means all this, let's say, upgrade your sales and marketing tools, to do more business and to reach more people. This is one. The other one is education. I do believe that in terms of learning, the metaverse is really a great tool where you can learn at your, when you are ready to learn, you can build your knowledge and step by step, and you can have this iterative learning process that you cannot have it if you have just 1 week to attend the learning lesson. Means the metaverse, this is where you can learn every day, you can enjoy everyday learning, and you can measure your learning. And if a company, for example, build this great environment to their customer with product, with market, with many information, it's the perfect place for their employees to learn about this corporate. It's the perfect place for their customer to learn about them. Means learning and having this great learning with VR, of course, involved too, is also very important. And typically for this new generation, for this Z generation, they are, they know very well how the gaming, they spend hours in gaming, meaning they know everything about gaming, and using those tools is very easy for them. Then promotion, business development, and HR, education, learning. For me, the main two applications for a corporation.
Okay, Ofer?
So the question again is how can corporates maximize the potential in the metaverse? Is that fair to summarize?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my tip here to executives listening to this and are considering, how do we get into the metaverse? Why should we get into the metaverse? First thing is, don't try. The first rule of thumb in my view is do not try to cram into immersive experiences everything that are already handled really, really well in 2D. For example, going in there and doing an editing, typing in VR is very difficult, right? For example, right? So going in there and trying to work on a PowerPoint presentation together, or going in there and trying to do Word document sharing, it's probably like editing work. Probably not the best place to do it in the metaverse, right? But if you're looking to if you have a company that's global and you have, and it doesn't have to be global, you just have people dispersed in different places, even throughout France, for example, right? It's going to be much more potential to hook people in for certain designated meetings, like stand-ups that are out of this world, right? That's a great target for why should we do this, right? Many teams, they meet daily, weekly, classical place, and they're globally dispersed or they're nationally dispersed. It's a classical place where you can bring everybody together into not just the same experience, but into a supercharged experience, right? This is one of those things that change our mindset, right? Because when you can meet and swim together and run and play games and do stuff and fly and go places, it makes meetings that are otherwise dull and boring amazing. I think that's kind of like one key area. Another area for enterprises, of course, is interfacing with clients, right? Any service interface can be a lot more exciting, right? I mean, just an example, you have a high net worth client, let's say you're in banking. What could be nicer than to send them a $300 device and tell them next time, hey, let's meet to do some chat about our different options and demonstrate things in VR. It's a classical example of how you can make it work. Now, a lot of these executives are wondering, how do we actually make it work? Because even that $300 is too much. So the answer to that is that, today, it didn't used to be this way, but today, with our, for example, Zoom integration, that issue is no longer an issue. So if somebody doesn't have VR, no problem. Just jump in, come meet me. You, Mr. Client, are on video, but at least you'll see all the 3D stuff that I want to show you. Whether it's an automobile or it's, you mentioned e-commerce, it's a bunch of products that I want to show you, and I can show you that in VR, and I can turn them around, and you'll have a much better content, even if you are on video conferencing, for example. So my message is just to summarize all this. It was a handful. I do think it's a great time right now to go into the metaverse if you're an enterprise. Do not listen to the fake news everywhere, because people love to trump on negativity, right? So for example, right now people will say the metaverse is flat. It's BS, right? I'm sorry, it's absolutely BS. I don't know what the metaverse is flat means, right? As has been mentioned here by Haneen, it's merely the internet projected in a more natural way, and it's going to evolve slowly, but it's not going away. I mean, if anything, it's going in that direction. So those people that are saying it's gone or it's over, it's like, okay, you know, you got you the title, the clickbait, but is that really what's happening here? No, the answer is that the reason it's a little bit in a trough of disillusionment right now is because, you know, Quest 3 has not come out yet, and it will soon. And Apple has not announced it, and hopefully they will soon. And soon, this ecosystem is, of course, going to grow up. As more generative AI goes in there, do a lot more things. You know, in a couple of weeks here, we're going to release some GPT, supercharged experiences. And I think that a lot of corporates are going to start seeing now it's coming together, right? Now it starts to, productivity is going to start happening in a much bigger way in the metaverse. And that's when people are going to wake up and going to go, okay, now we're missing out. Let's jump in.
Haneen, so just like you mentioned, like the HR and business development, to add some like a little bit more on what Offer was saying as well about like the client facing and all that. So what about HR, for example? How could it be used, for example, for HR?
Oh, this is, I mean, in many ways, first attracting this new generation. You know, our industry, many industries suffering from the fact that they are not able to attract. It's too boring to work on even tech companies, isn't it? Or in many other industry. And having such kind of tool will remotivate, will reshape, you know, and remotivate those new generation to join company like, I mean, I'm speaking about French company like Thales, Safran, like all those big corporations. They did a lot and they have a lot of technology, but for this new generation born with internet, it's boring to send everyday emails, boring to look at all this, boring, everything is boring there when they are great companies. I was part of them, I mean. And having these funny tools, guys, will really motivate them to work in those companies. This is also very important. Motivate, attract this new generation, show them that it's modern, that the company is modern, the company is able to change, to embrace new technologies, and they are not. They will find their gaming tools. You know, they are ready to be immediately operational. This is what any company look for. If having the tool where every employee can start immediately, you don't need to teach them. They spend at least 10 years on gaming and they know how to make it. I mean, this is also very important to say that for this. This is the first aspect. The second aspect is education. Means having all this content, gamification, making this content available in different ways will help you now the brain to learn faster, will help you now and motivate also the employees to learn by having all this consideration and all this interactivity. Your people will learn more, your people will attend events, will go and meet people, and you will create and ignite this learning phase in your company. This is also really attracting this new generation and make them using their full potential from gaming. And also what is very important, making the learning more available. I mean, available to everyone in every interaction.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, time is flying. I had 100 more questions for you guys, but it's flying. So we will have to stop here. Thank you so much, Haneen, Offer, for joining.
Thank you
today.
for having us. Thank you so much.
I was just going to say, if anybody has any questions, look me up on LinkedIn, and I respond there. So if you had a question that wasn't answered here, please, by all means, ask on LinkedIn or some other way. and I'm happy to answer it because I think it's a very fascinating thing. Anybody working in this right now, given the low hype of the metaverse, will know that we're doing it from passion because there's so much potential in it. Just one last word, what Haneen mentioned there is so true. It's been documented clinically to show that people in VR, basically their cognitive skills go up like 20%. Think about it next time.
Yeah, fully agree. Fully agree. Same here. Anybody, if any question, I will be available, of course, on LinkedIn, or please let me know. Thank you so much.
Definitely, thank you so much. Yes, to the audience, definitely connect with Haneen and Offer on LinkedIn or email. That would be great. Thank you, guys, and definitely stay for the second part of the event. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Great. So we are going to continue and with the second part of our presentation. So we're going to have the different startups presenting. So we are going to start with Alok Mehta from Brilliant. So we're just going to wait for Alok. I think he's going to join us here in a second. So yes, I believe he's going to get here. All right. Hello, Alok. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. See you again. Great. So yeah. So presentation for 5 minutes. Alok, the floor is yours.
Okay. I'm not seeing the slides on the screen here, so just give me a sec for it to come up on my side. Are you seeing it on your end?
Yes, I can see the slides, and
okay.
You can tell me. Yeah, you can't see it.
I can't see it, but I have the deck that I sent over, so I can just wing it. And I'm assuming I should just tell you when to go to the next slide. Is that correct?
You can do
okay.
That.
So I'll just go off the deck that I have here, and we can go from there. So great to meet everybody. Thank you so much for having us here today. I'm Alok Mehta, the co-founder and COO here at Brilliant. And just real quickly, a quick snapshot, if you can go to the next slide. I'm hoping you see the Brilliant at a glance slide. Real quickly, the problem that we're really solving here at Brilliant is immersion is a gateway to the metaverse. But today, immersion is really not convenient or functional in terms of practical access to the metaverse. So Brilliant's really been focused on an alternative embodiment to accessing these synthetic environments, if you will, with a headset-free, high-bandwidth virtual portal, which we refer to internally as our ultra reality display platform. We're very prolific in terms of putting, our roadmaps together, and we filed 30 patents. 6 have been granted. My co-founder is from the MIT ecosystem. I'm from the DARPA DoD ecosystem here on the US. And our vice president of BizDev was the ex-co-founder of IMAX Lab. So we're really trying to bring these kind of IMAX-like experiences to the consumer and to enterprises to really support metaverse activities. We've been really driving kind of proliferation of our tech around the world and executing on our early access program. And now we're really expanding our market in Europe and the Paris region is quite interesting for us. And just wanted to throw out there at the end of this talk, people feel free to connect with me. We will be showcasing at VivaTech. So if there is interest, it's a great opportunity there locally to get in front of our technology, feel it, touch it, experience it. And we'd welcome you to meet with us there. We are a post-Series A company. Lockheed Martin led our Series A investments, and especially for being able to practically and efficiently access synthetic environments. This was followed by MIT 14, LG Tech Ventures, Corning Glass, UDC, and Franklin Templeton. Next slide, please. If we take a step back, we really look at the future of computer experience, really similarly having 3 main components in terms of the user experience. And this is comfort, performance, and immersion. Headsets are great at giving you immersion, but the current state of affairs in general lack comfort and performance. Classical physical monitors that we all use every day have a great performance and comfort, but they lack immersion. So at Brilliant, we're really trying to bring all 3 of these parameters simultaneously to the end user. And we really believe that as all the advancements in headsets, kind of progress, they're going to get lighter, they're going to get higher performing, more comfortable. But we feel for the applications we're targeting at the enterprise level, It's a big ask to ask somebody to wear something on their face for 8 hours every day. And as headsets get better, 20% of the people will access the metaverse through headsets. What Brelion is fixated on is what are the other options for the 80% of the population that don't want to wear headsets. And that's really where Brelion is innovating. And you see this, right? So all the big players that are developing kind of metaverse environments and software and services, all, quietly in the background have their own hardware development problems and programs. So if you really look at that, this is really indicative of a hardware first problem when it comes to accessing the metaverse. And that's really where Brelion is innovating. And we're really approaching this from a different perspective. So this is really our concept that we're pushing forward, where it's really this virtual environment that you get access to by looking through this device that really turns displays from picture frames that you look at into windows that you look through. So this gentleman here is looking through our ultra reality display. Even though it's a small form factor, he's getting access to 122-inch, very large panoramic virtual high fidelity displays, but also has the ability to augment information in depth. So a very different kind of way to approach access to metaverse content and metaverse concepts. So it's really an experience that wraps around you, but doesn't isolate you. And this is another kind of enterprise-centric activity that we're doing with the financial traders of the world, where we can essentially compress these 3x2 multi-monitor arrays into a single device. And that's what you're seeing here in this image. We showcase kind of our concept car, our latest, greatest embodiment of our display at CES this year. And this is indicative of the world's first 8K resolution 155-degree virtual field of view display. And this is really something that's very powerful, and we're really pushing it at the forefront. So in general, this display technology is really something that allows you to really have an extension of the metaverse on your desk and access that content in a practical way. And also adding on this additional capability to augment features and services within your field of view. So open theory in all these areas is everybody wants as much access to information as possible to make critical decisions in an informed way, as efficiently as possible. We're uniquely giving access to data through multiplexing information in depth and really giving a different degree of freedom to access those large environments. So really, Brelion is building this new category of display technology that's somewhat positioned between headsets and monitors, where we're trying to simultaneously, again, give you comfort, performance, and immersion. And just like the headset community, as soon as the user base is established, we have a unique opportunity to layer on services and software. And we're actually deploying software and services today. So very excited about that. All of these scenarios you can imagine, these were kind of some of our first seminal use cases where basically teleoperations, financial traders, immersive gaming, they all have multi-monitor setups and are craving for immersion and visualization capabilities. And what we do is very simple. We take what's on the left and we collapse that down to a very elegant device that gives you 10x better performance, 6 times more compact, and gives you 3x more optical monocular true depth. So this is just a snapshot of some of our devices in the field for teleoperations and simulation and training on the left. The gentleman in the middle there at the bottom is one of the head traders at Franklin Templeton. He's actually doing his Bloomberg trading at home. And this is a slight subtlety of metaverse applications to support work from home activities where space restrictions rear their head. And, I like to say happy house, happy spouse. You can't always field a 6-9 monitor system at home to support those activities. So we can uniquely give them those capabilities and really unify the work and work from home environments. And of course, immersive gaming is a big deal for us. We've kind of fielded our displays in arcades in different places in the country here in the US, and people can actually go there and use our displays and game on them. So really what we're doing is it's like having an IMAX theater on your desk where you look through this display and you get this very large virtual high fidelity environment for you to look at. Now, I mentioned also the ability to multiplex information in depth, and this is why I wanted to just bring this up. This is what we call our metaverse monitor, where we now have this secondary depth layer, which we call the near layer, in addition to this deep virtual environment layer, where you can now have metaverse kind of office productivity functionality. So why is that important? If you think about the open office today, you're really focused on your screen and your peripheral vision is engaging with the environment. And with this dual layer technology, what what we can really do is very unique, where in the deep kind of peripheral vision, you immerse yourself in your environment. Everybody's digitizing their work environments, but at this near layer, you can have your classical kind of multi-monitor setup and allow you to interact with your colleagues through Zoom. And we have some very unique offerings to really enhance telepresence as well, which can be very interesting and really spearheading kind of mass proliferation and adoption of this platform. I won't get into too much of the technical details, but essentially we can really supersede anything that the standard display community is doing today in terms of brightness, resolution, field of view, and image size. But more importantly, we also have these degrees of freedom where we've really fine-tuned and optimized the visual ergonomics of our system, i.e. no headaches or nausea, and really tailored the solution for 8 hours a day utility all day, every day. Lots of recognition for press and tech from different aspects of our community. We won the Prism Award last year and a lot of different industry awards. Our team is very well structured and formulated to execute on some of our ambitious goals. My co-founder, Barmat, couldn't make it today, but he's from the MIT ecosystem. Michael Tolkien, I mentioned. We have a very stellar set of engineers that are really helping us kind of scale up our operations and really get our costs down and really get that to more price-sensitive markets, if you will. And we're also supported by a very stellar set of advisors. So I guess, I'll skip through some of this. We do have a worldwide presence. If any of these areas are close to you in red, we have showcase hubs, and we would love to host you there for demos. I think this is the last slide that you guys asked us to put together. In general, why large corporations should work with Brelion. And really, we've established a real, very significant value proposition and market traction here stateside and around the world as an alternative to using headsets for access to the metaverse. So within defense, automotive, enterprise, entertainment, and prosumers, we have a lot of activity. And I think the parallels that exist in the Paris region in Europe are really primed to take advantage of our product development and really get a head start on adopting a completely new category of display technology that can really enable and champion practical access to the metaverse. So I'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alok, for your presentation. I had actually the opportunity to see the technology, and it's pretty interesting. So definitely look it up and see what's out there. Thank you, Alok. Bye bye.
Yep. Take care.
Great. So we are going to move on, and we are going to invite Anthony Doka for Cornice. All right, we're just going to wait for Anthony. All right, Anthony should get here any second. All right. Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me? I got a warning that my audio and video devices were not compatible, but can you hear me? I guess, yeah.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. Can you see your slides?
I do.
Okay, perfect. Great. So you can change it on the right, or you can tell me next, and the floor is yours.
Yeah. Excellent. So, hello, my name's Anthony Duca. I am with Cavernous. We have been at it for about 7 years now. So we've been here in the very beginning of this new wave of 3D immersive experiences that are now called the metaverse. My background is 3D visualization technology for the past 20 years. Prior to Cavernous, I helped build a company called BunkSpeed, which wound up selling to and being owned by Dassault Systems and is now integrated into SolidWorks and is called SolidWorks Visualize. So next slide. So we believe the metaverse has arrived for enterprise use cases. We are an enterprise-focused company, and we'll talk about all the things that we have available for enterprises to use the platform that we built. But while the metaverse is starting to become a thing, enterprises are starting to figure out what they need to do in the metaverse. The challenge is the tools and skills to build these experiences are hard and complex. And what we've built is a methodology and a platform to help simplify that and make these use cases available in the enterprise for all the different things that you can do with 3D immersive experiences. Next slide. We're a company of about 28 people now. We've raised some money, a Series A of $14 million. We've got good investors like Galaxy, Epic Games is an investor as well. We've built an enterprise software platform, which we're going to talk about. The team here is very experienced. My co-founder built the rendering engine for the previous company, Bunkspeed, that's now owned by Dassault Systems. We have a long history in 3D technology, and especially in enterprise 3D technology. We've got customer traction. We've got many Fortune 500 companies, and we have solutions that are both SaaS, software as a service, and platform as a service. And next slide. So the Cavernous platform really consists of several technologies, and it supports all devices out of the box. We believe the metaverse is not VR. We believe it is the next visual experience on the internet, which they've talked about on the panel. And we believe it's going to touch every part of our life, work, learning, and even play, of course, games. But we're focused on the enterprise, and we focused on a set of capabilities that go across all devices, so you can enter these immersive experiences from VR, from tablets, from PCs, from Mac. It doesn't matter. These immersive experiences go across all those, and depending on what you're trying to accomplish, depends on whether VR is really important when you want to see things at scale and in context, or whether being on a computer screen and moving around in a space is valuable too. So we support all that. And one thing I'd like to show is what is the metaverse. I actually have behind my camera view. I'm going to hide myself. I am in the metaverse. So my example here is a digital twin of an office that we created for one of our customers. I have one of my co-workers here on the screen. That's David Waters. And this is an example of what a metaverse could be. You can recreate an office space that you can have meetings in. You can do HR onboarding, all kinds of things in a digital twin office. It could be that you, as an enterprise, you physically build stuff and put stuff out in the world, and you scan it and then bring it into the metaverse, and then do training or sales-like experiences where you can show people this is how you install this set of power units here. And you can put notes on things. And so this is an example of a scan. So you can scan real world things and bring it into the metaverse versus the previous example, which was like a digital twin. And then finally, we got another example. And again, I got one of my coworkers. You see, he's got his video stream. We call that a chromatar. He's sitting in the space with me. But here's an example of a space for engineering reviews, or it even could be for training. So we've got a video in here. We've got a 3D model from CATIA in here. We've got engineering slides. And so you got this dynamic space where you can actually do things, whether it be engineering reviews, design reviews, training, and things like that. So turn that off. I know that was, thank you for making that a little bigger, by the way. So that's basically the examples of the metaverse. So next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the platform, and then we'll wrap it up here. So our platform consists of a set of enterprise-ready microservices, which you see on the bottom. I think we call that the metaverse platform. And the microservices are everything you need to run a metaverse experience. Things like multi-user co-presence, voice and video streaming, content management, a full 3D ingest pipeline. We support 40 plus CAD formats. You can import CATIA directly. You can import SolidWorks directly. You can import Siemens NX directly, Autodesk Inventor, Fusion 360, SketchUp. So all kinds of 3D formats you can just bring right into these worlds because we've got the conversion pipeline, all part of those microservices. Also, we've got full enterprise authentication. We support Active Directory. We support Okta. So there's all the things that an enterprise needs. So you don't have to have a separate user administrative system. You can use your current user management system, and that all just connects right into our set of services that we've provided. We even got analytics and AI, because there's lots of stuff that happen in these metaverses and these experiences that you can track, because everything that happens in these experiences is journaled. That's the core. We call that the spatial journaling, which you'll see on the bottom left. That's the persistence. That's everything that was done, changed, added, all the locations of where people were. That's all in the journal. And then there's a level of intelligence you can do on top of what's happened in this space from a historical perspective. So all that's part of the platform. That's a set of microservices. They run in the cloud. We've got a cloud service, but we also can deploy that on premises, which we've got many Fortune 500 companies that really have secure data they're bringing in. So on premises is critical. And then on top of all those microservices, we've got an application you see on the left. We call it the Metaverse Builder Viewer, which is what I showed. That is a full suite where you can create, build, no code, and do amazing things quickly and fast for engineering reviews, for training, for work meetings, and for sales types of experiences. And then on the right side is our developer tools. We've got a plugin for Unreal Engine. So if you've built an Unreal Engine project that's a single user experience and you want to turn it into a multi-user co-present with voice and video and all the things that a metaverse has, all that infrastructure that we've built in the microservices, you can drop that in and you get access. We've got the same thing for Unity as well as we have a C#.NET SDK. So everything in the platform can be talked to dynamically and things can be automated. All those hooks are there for an enterprise. Next slide. This is our final slide. We'll wrap it up here. So why large corporations should work with Cavernous. We are fully enterprise focused. That's our market. That's what we know. We don't target consumers at all. We have a platform first strategy. So we do have an amazing application we built on our platform. We have a platform first that we built, and we are an application that we provide, but you can also build and integrate other applications into the platform using all this infrastructure and these microservices that we created. We even have white label capabilities. So if you want to leverage our platform, build things in it, and then put it out to your user base, your community, maybe sales experiences, you can white label that. You don't need our branding in there. That's all available. We support many different use cases out of the box. We've got customers in all those areas in the enterprise, and we're happy to show that. If anybody's interested, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. Enterprise grade, reliability, availability, scalability, security. Those are 4 important things, and they're 4 simple words to say, but it's very difficult to build an application that meets those criteria. And we've significantly done that. We're SOC Type 2 compliant, so we meet that sort of IT requirement. We've got end-to-end data encryption. We support Active Directory. We've got all the things to manage roles and permissions and spaces, so you can lock things down. People can do certain things that other people can't. The things to really secure the data, secure the spaces, it's all available there. And this works on premises, or you can use our cloud services. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Very interactive demo, so thank you for that. Great. So we are going to thank you. Bye bye. We're going to move on with great. So with Jan Simar from Cognitive Spark. Great. So just going to wait for Jan. Hello. Jan, how you doing?
Hi, Florian. Very good. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I can hear you. I can see you. Can you see your slides?
Yes. Perfect. Thanks.
Perfect. So you can tell me next, and I will change the slides. Thank you.
Sounds good. So my name is Jan Simar. I'm the CEO at Cognitive Spark. We are specialized in performance support for industrial workers. And more specifically, we built a mixed reality-based platform called Remote Spark that we use with field workers. Next slide, please. A few words about us. We're a Canadian company. We're established in Eastern Canada, but we also have an office near Oxford in the UK. And as a result, we do business mainly in North America, South America, and also increasingly UK, Europe. We work in a number of verticals. We do a lot of work in manufacturing, energy and utilities, engineering, defense, aerospace. I could add mining and healthcare as well, but everybody's using the same platform. And it's called, that's what we call Remote Spark. And if I describe quickly the typical use case for Remote Spark, let's say that you have an industrial worker that is facing a situation like a piece of equipment that broke down. That worker doesn't know what to do with it. So when that happens, the worker can put on a mixed reality device like a Trimble XR10 that you see on screen, which is based on the Microsoft HoloLens platform. And people can launch the Remote Spark application on it. Once the application is launched, the worker can consume 2D and 3D content that is already located in this physical space, or it can decide to say that I need to call an expert, and he would see that Florian is the expert and he's available online. So if that's the case, my worker can just click on Florian's icon that would launch a call. And once the call is established, Florian can see in real time what the worker is seeing, can talk to the worker, and can also provide the worker with additional 2D and 3D guidance expressed as holograms to help complete the work. Next slide, please. So we're an award-winning company, and you have the list on the left-hand side. We also have deep expertise in industrial and in the defense sector. And as a result, we're all about getting work done. So we're not about promoting the metaverse or even mixed reality for that matter. We're really about providing value right away. Next slide, please. And essentially, there are a number of things that are quite unique to our platform. So the first one is that, as I described earlier, we can say go in the factory, and a worker can actually go around and digitally place content inside that factory next to equipment, so that the next workers coming around will be able to see that content and also the experts that are related to it. So that's what we refer to as spatial computing. People can find digital operational instructions, as I described. So it can be a good old-fashioned PDF that the worker can reposition, go to page 3, and do a bit of work with their hands and keep going. And 3D could be a full 3D hologram with maybe a step-by-step animation showing how to do a repair. And the worker can resize it with their hands, move it around, play step 1, do the work, step 2 and 3, and so on. And finally, we have what is considered the state of the art in terms of 3D remote support. Our tool is recognized as being the only one that can do full 3D calls. We can do low and bad bandwidth calls as well. So our tool only needs 56 kilobytes a second to operate, while our closest competitors are more in the 2 megabyte range. And we're fully secure. We own every line of code end to end. We're available on public cloud and on-prem as well. And we can pass the toughest security audits, including the ones in the defense sector. Next slide. So here's what we've been able to demonstrate with our customer base using Remote Spark and mixed reality. So that's not studies that some firm has done. So these are real results that we measured with our customers. So we've been able to demonstrate improved knowledge transfer by up to 50%. The decreased time to competency, that's the same. Reduce equipment downtime, that's really great. So 30%, we're able to cut down on equipment downtime, which is really expensive, as you know. We're able to reduce the travel costs as well by as much as 75% for the subject matter experts that have to come and debug and troubleshoot situations. And we also we can also witness an increased safety with the fact that our workers, instead of holding papers or a tablet or a phone, they can actually use their hands and do the work at the same time as they're getting the instructions. Next slide, please. So why work with us? It's quite simple. We have, for industrial use cases, some of the best technology available globally. We built industrial robustness in what we do. So it actually works not only in a boardroom where people do demos. It works in factories. It works in the middle of the woods. It works in the Canadian Arctic and some of the most remote locations in the world. It works over satellite connections. So it just works. We also have a significant operational deployment experience, and it's really important. It's one thing to deploy with 1 to 5 workers as a proof of concept, but we have plenty of customers that are consuming with us in the 7 figures, and they're deploying with hundreds or even thousands of workers. So the whole change management topic is something we're really good at, and I would argue that we have one of the best book of knowledge when it comes to how to deploy mixed reality at scale. So we are a thought leader, not only in technology, but also on how to digitally transform the way industrial organizations operate. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan, for your presentation. Very good use case for corporates, like we were talking about in the panel. Thank you so much. Great. So we are going to move on and invite Sarah. I believe she was here a second ago. So for data mesh. Hello. Hi, Sarah.
Hi,
How you doing?
Florian. Hi.
Yes.
I'm fine, just fine. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I can hear you perfectly. I can see you. Can you see your slides?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can tell me when to go next, and the floor is yours.
Okay. So can we move to the first slide? Yes. Thank you. So first of all, who are we? So we're founded in 2014, and Data Mesh is an enterprise digital twin and metaverse solutions provider. We are a Microsoft partner, and our platform and softwares are deployed fully on Microsoft Azure. So we empower frontline workers through mixed reality technology. Our basic customer scenarios are basically MR training, 3D model visualization, and also SOP simulations. Next, please. So here is our offerings. So what we do, basically we our offering includes 4 parts. So the digital twin platform, which is based on Azure, and inside the platform, we have different MR design tools for different customer scenarios. So for each scenario or for each need, we have different design tools. And the MR content creation development, which means it's more like the 3D model building and creation, and also we support 24/7 technical support. Next, please. Okay, so here is a simple definition of the digital twin for data mesh. So actually for us, it's more like a connection of digital spaces and real world data. The goal is actually to connect and map and simulate between the two worlds, so the real world and the virtual world, and also to seamlessly integrate people, devices, and real working process on a single digital twin platform. Next, please. So here is a basic workflow of how our platform and products work. So it includes the 3D resource import into our platform, the data mapping, content editing, and data binding. So as I mentioned before, I like to connect the real data with the virtual world with a digital twin. And eventually, it depends on the customer's needs. We can do some simulation and prediction of real data. And finally, to see the content, we can distribute the content through various MR devices, such as Microsoft HoloLens, iPad, PC, and also your mobile phones. Next, please. I think my deck is stuck.
Oh, this is the slide 6 that I mentioned. Digital twins empower enterprises in digital transformation. Can you see that?
Yes. Okay. Now it's good. Thanks. Okay, so here are some of our common customer scenarios. Mainly we have currently the manufacturing digital twin scenarios like sandboxes, factory roaming, virtual facilities, and construction supervision. And also here you can see a simple structure of our digital twin platform and products. Next, please. So here is an example of one of our digital twin designing tools, which is called Data Mesh Director. It's a zero-code MR editing tool deployed on Data Mesh Factverse digital twin platform. So it's easy to use with only drag and drop mode, and it's also designed for every frontline worker, which means it's not only for IT or tech people. It's quite really easy to use. And to understand, it's like for every HR, even your HR background or financial background, you can use it very quickly and simply. So next, please. So here are some of our current customers. So why large corporations should work with us? Actually, by data mesh MR training method and experience, we help industrial users improve their working efficiency and reduce their equipment and personnel cost. So the digital twin platform that offers data mesh can bring a brand new way to accelerate enterprise digital intelligence transformation. Okay. Next, please. So I think I'm done. Yeah. So here are some of our coordinates. So we're based in Singapore. We have offices in Seattle, Beijing, Tokyo. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay for me.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Great. So our next presentation is Jaco, so from Varjo Technologies. So we're just going to wait for Jaco. So great. Here's the presentation. We're just going to wait. Hello, how you doing?
Hello. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I see the slides, so I'll tell you when to move on to the next one.
All right, great. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning and evening to everyone. My name is Jaakko Vilska. I'm an account executive here at Varjo Technologies. I'm based in Helsinki, Finland, where our headquarters is. As well, I cover the EMEA and APAC markets, and we do have a US team in Washington, D.C. covering our North American activities. And our company is essentially a hardware manufacturer. We do high quality, highest end virtual and mixed reality headsets. We do have a software solution as well to sort of tie everything up together. I'll explain a bit more on that later on. The company itself was founded roughly 5 years ago, so 2016, by a couple of ex-Nokia engineers. At the moment, we've gone through 4 rounds of funding. We gathered roughly 140, 150 million USD, investors being anything from Volvo Cars to Foxconn. And we are about 200 people at the moment, mostly working in the Helsinki headquarters, but a couple of other people around the world and the US team as well. In addition to that, we do have a global reseller network in roughly 40 to 45 countries at the moment. Next slide, please. So our core segments and focus areas would be training and simulation in general, and I'll go into more details what it can have inside for our customers or for us, and then design and engineer, research and medical. And let's look at a couple of examples, or one example from each category, and I'll explain a little bit more after that. So in the next slide, we'll see a video from Kia Motors, one of our automotive industry customers. I'm not sure if it's playing the video for you guys. If you need to click it again, it's not playing from my side though. If you can check it, because at least from my side, I need to click it again for it to run the video, but it doesn't seem to be working. But that's all right. We can go back to the previous slide and we just look at the picture, and I'll explain what is happening there if the video would be playing. So this is an example from Kia Motors. And what they were doing before they got the Vario headsets and that type of workflow in place was that they, when designing a new car, before going into production, they need to make sure that everything looks as it's supposed to look. And they do that by building a physical prototype of the car. They build a clay model and they travel on site from different teams around the world, and they evaluate, they review the model before going into production. And this might take a couple of rounds, 5 to 10 rounds even, and cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now they can all just put on a Vario headset, and because of the headset has a high enough resolution and other features that it really shows the virtual car in a way that it would look like if the real thing would be in front of you. So they would be walking around the virtual car. They would see all the little details when they go inside, and they can check the stitching of the steering wheel, and the resolution will stay up to the same level as your eyes would see it in normal life. Everything works the same way as it would show in real life. You could see if this person on the right side would walk closer to the virtual car, the other person who is sort of recording this through the headset would see the reflection of his colleague in the virtual car as well, because the camera, the headset has video cameras in the front panel, so it can capture what is there in real life and place it as a realistic reflection on the virtual object. We can go to the next slide and look at another example. This would be a video of a pilot training simulation setup where part of the cockpit would be built in real life, and then you put on the headset to see the flight simulation. But because of the video pass-through capabilities, again, the user will be able to see their own hands when they need to operate and touch the buttons and joysticks and levers. They need to really train the muscle memory. And this is a really key feature for all of our defense sector, Air Force sector, and commercial aerospace customers as well. And again, the key features of being the mixed reality and the high resolution, and a couple of other features such as hand tracking, so you don't need to have any controllers on your hand. You can just use your own hands and see them exactly how they are in real life. And next slide, please. This would be another video. It's a shame that it doesn't show at all what would be the use case here, but this is from the medical industry, and what this American company, Touch of Life Technologies, have done with a couple of universities and hospitals in the US was that they scanned an actual cadaver, a body, and took that data, brought it into VR and mixed reality mode, and now they uses our headsets, or the medical students uses our headsets to study a human anatomy class, and they can see all the parts of the body in an order where they can really do it whenever they want, basically. And before it was a question of when they can get the actual cadaver in the classroom for the studies. But yeah, it doesn't really show up here, but happy to provide you all the videos later on and a lot of other examples. We can go to the next slide. This is the software solution we have. So instead of having all of your content, the models and training simulations sit on your local computer and share it from there, and having the need of design software on your computer or the know-how to use it, you would upload the content into an AWS cloud server and distribute invitation links from there to all of the people, participants, other stakeholders that you would need to be part of the session. I can join with a Vario headset. You guys can join with a Meta, HTC, whatever you would have. If you don't have any headset, you can still join with your phone and tablet and computer. So it would be a platform for everyone to collaborate and visualize your design in a more better managed way. You can go to the next slide. Couple of key features that differentiates Vario headsets from any other headsets that are out there. We call the resolution human eye resolution because it's up to a level where our eyes couldn't really detect if it would be anything better. We have eye tracking for various different use cases. We have hand tracking, like I mentioned before, so you don't need to use controllers, and the video pass through to create that really realistic mix of virtual objects and the real life. You can go to the next slide. Some of our customers, they are typically a big, larger size enterprise customers, such as the car manufacturers. But you can think of anything in the manufacturing field and industry, especially if you have a larger size product, it might be difficult to build the physical prototype, and that's going to be expensive. So that's immediately a good, simple use case to consider this type of approach as the car manufacturers are doing. Then in the defense sector, a lot of the different air forces, navies, and land armies of different nations and their system integrators are our customers. And whenever you have the need for something of super high resolution, especially if you have really high resolution and high quality content, that can be a good match to view through a Vario headset. So our market is much more niche than it is for the Metas and the consumer headsets. But the ones really the professional ones that require that high quality, then definitely Vario is a good option for that. Next slide. I'm not sure if there is any.
Yeah, no, I think that's the last one.
Yeah, that is it for me. Thank you for listening, and happy to continue afterwards with proper calls and information. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. We will definitely share the presentation with the videos. Unfortunately, Livestorm is very limited to PDF. We cannot.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah.
Yeah, no
It's
problem.
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Great. So this is the end of our startup presentation. So before we end this event, I just wanted to share with you the agenda for our next event that will be on June 13th, and that will be in Paris, physically in Paris, and it will be around AI. So this event will be the day before Vivatech, so the technology event in Paris. So make sure that you register for this one. Great, thank you everyone. Thank you to all the presenters that were here. If you have any questions regarding the Global Open Innovation Network that I talked about at the beginning of the presentation, you can contact Hélène Tinty, which is the head of development. And for a startup, if you have any questions regarding like the expansion in the Paris region, you can reach out to Cécile Jupin, who is the business development manager. Thank you again to everyone, and thank you for coming by, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.